I'm Jen, and welcome to day 16 of Stress Busters 21-day yoga challenge. Today is all about binding postures. So you want to make sure that you're familiar with some twisting postures that we've done earlier on in the series, just because we use those as a base to move on to our binding postures. Binding postures tend to be a little bit more complicated. Sometimes you have to have a little bit more flexibility. So if you do find that you're not able to reach all of the binds, don't worry about it. Just go back to your base twisting posture or even an easy seated or standing posture until we move on to the next one. Remember, this workout is all about you. So even though it's getting more challenging, work to your own level. So we're going to begin in a nice kneeling or sort of bent knee posture today. And I just want to open up the spine a little bit before we start. So we want to breathe in, look up, and then breathe out, roll back. So this is our supine cow and supine cat. And let's do that one more time up and one more time back. Great. And then coming back up to neutral. So starting into our half Lord of the Fishes, we're going to take our right hand, reach through for our left leg. So nice and easy here. We're then going to take that same leg and cross it over. Okay, so you might remember this from one of our earlier sessions. Again, place your hands down at either side, and we're just going to raise our right hand up and hug that left knee in. Good. Maybe take that left hand, reach it behind you so it's nice and twisted. Good. And then maybe take that elbow to the back of the knee. And this time you really want to reach it forward so it's almost like you're trying to get your fingers to the floor. Then reach through your knee so you're trying to touch the outer part of your side. And then just lift your other hand off the back of the floor and reach it around to meet it. So I've got my fingertips touching, but I can actually turn my hand so that I clasp my fingers. And then to finish this off, lift tall, and then make sure you twist towards your hip. So breathing in and breathing out. Again, inhale and exhale. We're going to take one last breath. And then we're going to slowly turn back towards the center. Great stuff. Let's come back to our neutral, seated bent knees and switch that around to the other side. Cross your leg over, hands down, make sure you're flat on the floor. Let's start with the easy version first. So we want to take that right hand out and hug the left knee. And then just twist to the hip, move the hand behind. So remember, you can stay here, or we can make it a little bit more intense by pushing the elbow to the back of the knee, and then maybe the shoulder to the back of the knee, preparing for our bind. Reach through the knee, and you want to try and touch your waist. And then we can just lift our back arm and join the hands together. So again, if your hands don't join, don't worry, you can just sort of rest your hands along your torso. Remember to try and turn to your hip, sit tall, shoulder back. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, inhaling and exhaling. So we'll slowly relax all of that, come back to center. And then we're just going to bring those feet back in front and come into a supine child's pose. So wrap your hands around the front, drop your head down. And then when you're ready, come back up nice and tall. So let's come seated, head up. Bring your right foot forward and pull your left heel in. So we're going to come into Marichyasana. So I want you to keep holding onto that left leg, and I want you to raise your left arm up and bring the back of the shoulder to the inside of the knee. And then just like we did with the half lord of the fishes, we're going to bring that hand behind us. And if you can, try and rest it up onto your waist. And then we're going to slowly release that front leg and bring your arm behind, reaching for it. Good, now sit tall. If you want, you can actually start to fold forward over this. Breathing in and breathe out. And let's just take one more breath and out. So coming up, relax the hands and let's switch the legs. So use your left hand to pull that right leg in as far as you can. Bring your arm up and let's bring the hand forward to the foot, the back of the shoulder to the inside of the knee. Okay, and again, if this is what feels challenging for you, you could stop there. Or you could just gently turn that palm back and maybe rest it against the leg. But of course, if you're able, reach it all the way around to touch your waist. And then we can release the other hand and bring it back to join. Good, sitting tall or folding forward. Breathe in, breathe out. And again, inhale and exhale. We want to take one last breath and out. Good, so let's just come back up nice and tall. Bring both feet in and let's relax gently over into our seated child's pose. Okay, and coming up nice and tall. Bring your legs out wide into that bound angle pose. But instead of staying in bound angle, we're going to move into our lotus. So let's start first by bringing that right foot behind the left knees and the left foot forward. Okay, so if this is as far as you can go with your lotus posture, stay here. Otherwise, maybe bring it into a half lotus, or maybe even bring it into a full lotus. Okay, so whatever works best for you. And then, although we might think that this is a good enough bind in itself, we can add the arms in if we want. So let's bring one hand behind, and we're just going to sort of reach for our toes. So maybe that's one side. I'm going to bring that hand forward, and I'm going to twist it out. So I'm just kind of preparing for this, and then I'm going to come up, release that, and then I'm going to take my hand behind, and I'm going to try and reach for my toes. And again, I'm just going to let this one come forward. And then maybe turn and look. Good. And then coming up. So practicing on both sides, we now want to see if we can do them together. So we just want to reach around, and we're kind of bending forward, and then do the same with the other side. See how close you can get. And then remember which arm is on the outside, because we'll switch that around when we do the other side. Coming up, and then release that all down. So hopefully switching to the other foot, we're going to slide that right foot forward, the left foot down. So just starting an easy lotus with the opposite leg leading. Maybe bring that up, and maybe come into your full lotus. So again, enough of a bind just with the legs, but if you want, we can try and bind hold of that, one arm and foot at a time. So sometimes it depends which foot is on top. It doesn't always want to reach, and you might have to use your hands to assist on both sides, and that's absolutely fine. So then coming up, remember what I said about thinking about which hand was on top last time? Well, you want to try and do the opposite, and you can see when I do it on this side, it's a little bit tighter. And you know what? That just tells me I need to practice it a little bit more. So slightly leaning forward means you get a better reach. Good, and then coming up, and we'll relax all of that out. Perfect, so uncross. Let's bring those feet forward. And let's gently lean back. So those legs have been all tucked in, and this is just sort of to ease it off. I kind of like to move myself forward and back because it feels nice that way. And then what we're going to do is come up into a table. And we're going to curl the toes under, push back to our down dog. And extend your right foot up. And then bring your knee through. Okay. And then drop your back foot and face to the front. Turn your feet out, and then we're going to bend over to the left side into Skandasana. Good. So bring your hands up. And then if you remember your Skandasana, we did the side stretch. But what I want you to do is take the side stretch and bring it behind you. And now you can stay here or bring that arm up and around. Good, breathing in and breathe out. Really try to rotate your toes up, in and out. We want to take one more breath. And then just slowly release the hands one at a time. And now coming back up, nice flat back, maybe folding forward, take away all of that tension. Good. And then we're just going to move the feet in a little bit narrower, but not too narrow. Walk your hands forward and come to yoga squat. Okay. So let's bring our left hand down and raise our right arm up. So yoga, extended squat, and maybe take that arm behind you, and then maybe take the bottom arm around to meet it. So we've got a bound malasana. Breathe in, and breathe out. We want to do one more breath, and then slowly come back down. Lift up, and just drop the head. Good, we want to bring those legs back wide, and maybe just turn. Good, step back to a down dog. Take a big breath. Extend your left leg up, and then bring it forward. Drop it down, face the front. Good, so straighten the legs, turn them out, maybe widen them. Go to the opposite side for Skandasana. Toes up, hands up, extend it. And then bring the hand behind. Reach the other arm up if you want to bind it. So if you only want to do the top arm behind your back and keep your bottom hand on the floor, you can do that. Breathe in one more time. And then we're just going to relax that down. Come up to center and relax the head. And then maybe shimmy the feet in slightly, but not too much. Come down to your yoga squat. Take your right arm out and lift your left arm. Maybe bring your left arm behind and maybe bring your right hand up to meet it. Breathing in. Breathing out, take one more breath, and then let's come back down. Stand up tall, drop the head, and then widen it out. Turn back to your starting position. One breath, down dog, and then into table. Good. Sweep those legs forward. Slowly and carefully lower yourself down. Take a breath in, open your palms, and then extend your feet long. Remember, soften the muscles, soften the joints, and also relax your mind of any busy thoughts. Stay in Shavasana for as long as you wish. When you're ready to come out, bend the knees, bring them up to the chest, hands under, and roll yourself up to easy seated pose. Arms up high, exhale down. Let's take one breath in and exhale forward. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining me today.